Hey Jacobs, how are you?
Hi, Miss Wright.
Welcome to your junior conference. Is your mom there with you?
Yeah, hold on. Let me go grab her. Mom!
Hey mom, how are you? I can't hear you. Is
Hi, Miss
everything okay?
Wright. Let me check. Is this and us? Is that okay? Is that better?
That's better. Perfect.
Okay. Okay. Very
It's good to see you both. So today we're talking about what your plans are for after graduation. So Jacobs, why don't you start and let me know, what are you thinking?
Well, I want to major in medical something in the medical field, or I want to be a lawyer. So I'm probably going to do both.
Okay. All
And
right.
then
Those
in
are
law.
those are big goals. I like it. Mom, and Jacobs, what questions do you have for me about the college application process or anything like that?
I have a question. How do we send the transcripts?
So Jacobs is actually going to request that we send transcripts through Naviance, and I can go through that with you, and we will also go over it in our Naviance lesson senior year.
Okay, and then I heard about this thing called Supermatch. How does that work?
Yes, that is a feature on Naviance again, where basically Jacobs can go into her account and she can put in that she wants a large school. Sorry about that. And that she wants to be in Alaska or whatever it might be that she's looking for, that she's looking for a medical program and a law program, and Supermatch is going to give you a list of schools that meet all of those criteria so that you can kind of have a starting list to research.
Okay, and then how do we sign up for the SAT?
The SAT, you are actually going to sign up at sat.org. And let me really quickly share my screen with you to share a couple of different resources, including the link that you can easily access. All right, let me know if you can see this. Can you see it? Okay, perfect. So Jacobs, are you familiar with your grade 11 THS school counseling group?
Of course, I'm on there every single day.
Okay, perfect. So just as a reminder, on the right-hand side, you have upcoming events, and this is where we're going to do a lot of scholarships as we start to get them in. And as you get into senior year, keep an eye on the deadlines on the right-hand side. But for your question about how to sign up for the SAT, on the left-hand side, if you go to resources, there is going to be a folder for the junior conferences. So the first folder, and if you click in there, you're going to have a lot of different links. The first one is to Naviance. And down here, you have a link to the College Board and the ACT. Okay, and that is how you register for the SAT and how you register for the ACT.
What is that? All right. Waiver form. What is that?
So this FERPA waiver form in this folder is something that we need parents to sign so that we can send your students transcripts and letters of recommendation to colleges.
Okay, all right. So we're gonna do that tonight. I'm taking notes in my phone. Such a good student. Thanks, Mom. Okay, how many colleges should we be applying to?
I would recommend 6 to 8 colleges and definitely not more than 10.
I was going to apply to 20.
That is a lot of work. So the reason that we generally recommend that you apply to 6 to 8 colleges is so that you can focus on making those 6 to 8 applications as awesome as they can possibly be, because 20 applications is going to be a lot, especially with your classes in the fall, right? And also, if you're applying to 20 colleges, what it's telling me is that you haven't really done your research and narrowed down what colleges you really love and you really want to attend. So those 6 to 8 need to be schools that you've really researched, and that you really will be happy at if you get into any of them or all of them.
When will we hear back after she sent in her applications?
So it really depends. Some schools you might hear back if they have a rolling admissions policy within 2 to 4 weeks. Other times it might take, I'd say, 2 to 4 months.
Okay, and when do we have to decide by?
Decision day is generally May 1st, but I will add that you might want to start trying to narrow it down and decide prior to that, because a lot of schools ask for deposits earlier so that you can get preferential housing.
Oh, okay. Can you talk about the differences between the regular decision and the early decision?
Yes. So the early decision is basically a binding contract that Jacobs is signing when she applies early decision. You're saying that if you get accepted to that school, you are going to attend no matter what the financial aid package turns out to be. So that is a very big decision. Definitely have that conversation together about finances and if you can make it work. I would say if you're only interested in one school, which it doesn't sound like you are, don't necessarily go the early decision route. Now, regular decision just means that you are applying at a later time. This is also similar to early action, which you apply early, but it's not binding. We generally recommend that if a school has an early action deadline, that you try to meet that deadline, because sometimes they will take the majority of their applicants from that early action pool and you have a better chance of getting in.
Okay.
All early action.
Yes, yes, definitely. All of them should be done by then. All right. And how can we find the deadlines for early action?
Say that one more time. You broke up.
How can we find the deadlines for early action?
So that is going to be on Naviance. When you're researching schools, it will say the deadlines for the colleges. And you can also look at the admissions web pages of each college that you're interested in, which is a really great resource as you start to look into colleges, and they'll list the deadlines there.
Okay. And then what is a good GPA?
It depends on what schools you're looking at. Generally,
Yale, Howard,
UPenn.
So for those schools, I definitely would recommend that you're trying to take AP classes, GT classes, getting a higher weighted GPA, closer to the above 5, closer to 6. But a good way to look at it is to look at the 50% mark for all of those schools that you're mentioning and see where do other students that fall into that 50% fall. So are they getting 4.5s or are they getting 5.5s? And then if you fall into that 50%, then maybe that's a good fit for you. If you're falling below, that might be a little bit of a harder school to get into. Also,
well, I've taken 30 AP classes and I received all 4 and 5s on all of my exams.
well, that's awesome. That is going to save mom a lot of money when you get to college. So that is awesome, Jacobs. Good job. Keep in mind, though, for those schools that you listed also, they are extremely competitive. So when we're saying that only 4% of applicants get accepted to Harvard and Yale, for example, 4% of everyone who applies in the world gets accepted.
I'm on the cheerleading team. I'm on the lacrosse team. I'm on the soccer team. I also bake cookies for little kids in Towson. I also in all of my clubs I'm in. I'm in the BSU. I'm in the ASL club. I do it all.
That is wonderful. And I don't know how you get any sleep with that, but more power to you. Just remember to not give up as you go into senior year. Don't slack off just because you think that your work is done after junior year, and try to look for leadership positions and for things that will make you stand out on the application.
You were talking about a 50%. Where can we find that?
I'm sorry about that. Can you repeat that question real quick?
Where can we find that information to see if she's in that 50%?
So that is going to be both on Naviance. If you're doing the super match, it'll show you.
Oh,
And
okay.
actually, it has a place for you to put in your current GPA. And if you've already taken the SAT, it'll let you put in your SAT score. So then it'll kind of do the work for you of seeing if you're in that 50%.
Okay. Can you remind me the difference between the GPA and the QPA?
Yes, the GPA only goes up to 4. So GPA is out of 4 points, and it only takes into consideration your letter grades. So did you get an A, a B, C, or a D? The QPA takes into account the rigor of your classes. So if you take, let's say, an AP class, that is out of 6 points. If you take a GT class, that is also out of 6 points. And I know that Jacobs has been taking a lot of AP classes, so I'm sure that her QPA is up there.
Okay. Thank you. And can you tell me the differences school will think between AP classes and CCBC classes?
So for colleges, when they're looking at your transcript, Jacobs, they're going to view AP classes and CCBC classes pretty similarly because they're both college prep classes. They're both rigorous. So it's really up to you. You already said that you've taken a lot of AP classes. So I don't think that you need to take CCBC classes to increase your chances at this point.
Okay. And then how do we find her class? Also, I'm sorry about her brother.
That's okay.
So how do I find her class rank?
Her class rank is actually going to be on her transcript. And Jacobs, that is something that I've put into your Naviance account under documents. So go ahead and look there. You will see class rank for weighted and unweighted, as well as the GPA and QPA there.
Okay. And then do we think our test score is more important than grades?
I would say they're not more important. The grades definitely, maybe if anything, are more important than test scores because test scores are just one factor. They're just one instance of you sitting down for a test. Your grades are actually showing colleges how you've performed over the past 3 years. So that they're going to take that into consideration a little bit more.
Okay, and how important are letters of recommendation?
They are very important. I recommend that, Jacobs, you start thinking about maybe some junior year teachers that you might want to ask for letters of recommendation now. But you have the summer to think that over and decide. And then when we return in the fall, probably September would be a good time to touch base with your junior year teachers and ask for letters of recommendation.
So which teachers are best for me to ask if I'm trying to be pre-med and pre-law?
So I would say that if you're trying to be pre-med and pre-law, definitely core teachers. Consider your science teacher, your math teacher. I know you're in the LPP program, so maybe your law teacher. Those are 3 good options. Now, generally, schools are going to require only 2 letters of recommendation from teachers. So double check what each of your schools require as you do your research.
Okay, and then will Towson help us to visit colleges in person?
So we are not able to help set up in-person visits. Sometimes once the pandemic is over, we will have big group visits to local universities, but something that we do offer right now is virtual visits with our admissions reps from different schools. So Jacobs, definitely look at Naviance and see what colleges are going to be coming. And also keep an eye in the fall because a lot of them visit in the fall, and that is a great chance to get some information about those schools, get your answers about any questions that have come up, and also to kind of give the admissions officers a chance to know who you are before they even read your application.
Make sure you put some reminders in your phone so you don't miss any of them.
Okay.
Okay, all right, so that's all the questions that I have right now. Can I contact you later if I have any other questions?
Yes, absolutely. I am available by email. And Jacobs, you have my Calendly link, so you can always make an appointment that way.
Can you show me in Naviance how do I do the super match and how do I add schools to Naviance?
Yes, absolutely. Let me pull up Naviance real quick. You're going to use that link that I showed you in the grade 11 Schoology group. And
That was such a good question.
Thanks, Mom.
Jacobs is an excellent student.
I know. She's always studying. She's always getting such good grades. Yes, she's prepared.
Yes.
You're going to get into the best
Absolutely.
schools. I'm so proud of you.
I'm so excited to get this process started.
All right. Do you see my screen right now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. So, Jacobs, you said that you wanted to know how to do super match?
How to do super match, how to add schools to Naviance, and how to request transcripts
Okay,
and
perfect.
letters of recommendation.
Okay, so let's start with super match. If you are on your home page, go to colleges at the top right. Going to click on that. Then you're going to scroll down to research colleges. And nope, that's not it. Find your fit. I'm sorry, Jacobs. You're going to go to find your fit. When you're actually just looking for colleges and you already know kind of, that's when you do research colleges. Super match is the first link under find your fit. So when you click in here, let's see if there are any criteria. We already have some criteria, but let me see. At the top, these are all the different criteria that you can put in to see what schools kind of match what you're looking for. So right now, for example, I have these states listed for schools that I'm looking at. Under academics, we're going to click bachelor's because that is what you're first going to go for. And you said, what majors are you interested in?
Pre-med and pre-law.
Okay, so let's start with pre-med. And then, sorry, my computer is a little slow.
It's okay. I think I'm going to double major in those too. Or I might minor.
Okay, so you can also put minors down here. But for right now, we've entered the one major and those states. So based on that, you can see that these schools fit 100% of your criteria. So Angelo State University, it's in the states that we listed, and it has a pre-med program. Now here is where you're kind of going to see the 50% that I was talking about. And right now we didn't put any of the scores, which is why it's saying NA, but when you do it, you're going to put in your own GPA, your own SAT score or ACT score, depending on what you take, and you'll see how you stack up against the average. Okay, any questions about that?
I don't. Do you have any questions? Notes.
Perfect. Okay. So next, how do you add colleges? So as you're doing Supermatch and you're interested in different schools, you can go to the homepage and click on colleges I'm thinking about. So already we have some colleges listed here. When you come up with a new college, you can click add colleges to list in the top left. And I generally just do keywords since you know what the college is called. And let's just do Harvard since you mentioned that school. Okay, and then you just check it and click favorite.
Okay. And so for next year, when I'm actually applying to that school and say I want to go to Howard in DC, how do I say I'm going to apply to that school?
So when you actually decide, you're going to click on every college on this list that you actually want to apply to. Let's just click on those. And in the middle at the top, you're going to click Move to Application List. This is going to prompt you to say which deadline you're actually going to be applying by. So like you and Mom said, early action is probably the one that you're going to aim for. So you're going to change everything to early action if they have it. It looks like a lot of these schools only have regular decision. Okay, and then you will also indicate how you're going to submit your application. So I would recommend generally that if it's a Common App school that you do it through the Common App, because that lets you submit one centralized application to many schools instead of filling out 20 separate applications. And all of these schools are on Common App, so that is awesome. Now, to request your transcripts, Mom, this is the part where when Jacobs adds these, she can click add and request transcripts so that there isn't another step. And we're going to request initial transcripts because it's just the start of senior year. You don't have mid-year or final transcripts available.
Are they going to have to do this again?
So you don't have to do this again.
Okay. So
Okay.
is this the school's going to send the mid-year transcript for senior year without us having to do anything?
Yes, the mid-year is sent automatically to all of your schools. Now, the final transcript, you're going to have to put in here when you decide what college you're attending, and this is how we'll know the one school that gets your final transcript. Okay?
Okay.
Now, for letters of recommendation, if you go to colleges and then apply to college, letters of recommendation is the first option. And if you forgot to request your transcripts when you added the schools, there is a transcript right underneath that. So you can already see that we've added Miss Berman to write a recommendation for all applications, but it's actually canceled. So she is not going to do that. When you're ready and you know who your two teachers are, you're going to click add request. You are going to select your teacher, let's say Mr. Boning, and then we recommend that you select all current and future colleges I add to my colleges I'm applying to list. This means that if you decide in a month or 2 months that you are going to apply to a new school and you add it to your list on Naviance, you don't have to request your letters of recommendation again. They'll automatically be sent to every school that you have on your list and any schools that you add in the future. Okay?
Okay.
And there it is. So once this changes from requested to submitted, you know that your teacher has uploaded their recommendation.
Okay, so do you recommend, I was going to send my resume to all of the teachers that I asked, and I'm going to ask them first and then send them my resume. Do you think that's a good thing?
I think that is a good thing. Another thing that you can do, though, is upload your resume. Do you know how to do that?
No, can you show me?
Absolutely. So if you go to About Me and then My Stuff, under the journal, not the resume, if you don't have a resume and you need to build one, you can click on the resume tab. But otherwise, to upload it, click on the journal. And you're going to click this giant plus sign, put in resume, and then make sure that under share with that you're sharing it with your counselors and teachers. You can share it with mom. I don't see why not, but that's up to you. But counselors and teachers definitely need to be able to see your resume so that they can read it for your letters of recommendation. Then you're going to browse and add the file. Okay?
Okay.
Perfect. Any other questions about Naviance?
No other questions about Naviance. You mentioned Common App. So for Common App, I did go and look on there. I know that I can't apply right now and I have to wait, but can I look at the essays and start my essay over the summer?
Yes, absolutely. And we have the essay prompts in that grade 11 junior conference folder, so you can take a look at those and start working on them.
Oh, wow. I'm going to do that today.
Perfect. Mom, do you have any other questions for me?
You have been so helpful, Ms. Wright. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
you.
It was
All right.
really good to talk to you, Jacobs.
You're the best school counselor ever.
You're the best student ever.
Thank you.
Thank